If we could all rewind the clock back 20 years and meet our younger selves, what advice would we give? Whatever you do, please don't wear those pants. You aren't as cool as you think you are, so don't try so hard. Or how about you invest in a small company called Amazon? Well, we all wish we could, right? So in that spirit, in today's video, I want to share with you 21 money lessons that I want to share with my 21-year-old self. Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tay from Financial Tortoise, where we learn to grow our wealth slow and steady. The first money lesson that I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to accept the fact that it is okay to look broke. When you're 21 years old, you are young. You're fresh out of college, so expectations are pretty low. So be okay wearing generic off-the-rack clothes, driving an old beater, and not having the nicest, newest things. You might think people might look down on you for looking broke. But do you want to know the truth? Though your same age friends might not understand you, older individuals like myself will come to respect you. Do you want to know why? Because that is exactly what we all wish we did when we were your age. So if you're 21 years old, be okay looking broke. This will be a huge asset as you get older. The number 2 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is that I need to really understand no one cares. This segues from the earlier point. You know that feeling in junior high when you wake up with a big pimple on your forehead and you dreaded going to school? You just knew everyone was going to notice that big red mountain of yours and your life would be over. Well, you lived through that because you realized afterwards no one really cared. How could they when they themselves were struggling with their own big red pimple? And you want to know something funnier? This reality doesn't really change whether you're 21 years old or 41 years old. Despite how much we think people care about what car we drive, what clothes we wear, or what kind of a job we have, the fact is that no one really cares. So be free. Focus on improving yourself and your future without caring what others think of you. The number 3 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is that you need to learn the most powerful vocabulary in the English dictionary. No. Again, going back to our junior high example, in our teens, we try so hard to fit in with the crowd. We want to be liked. We want to be part of the cool kids. So we say yes even when we don't want to because of peer pressure. But eventually, if we want to forge our own pathway, we have to learn to say no to things. Just because everyone is going to Cancun for the weekend, it doesn't mean you have to jump on board if it goes against your long-term savings plan. And if your friends continue to insist that you go, it may be time to make some new friends. I know this is a tall order to ask for a 21-year-old because when I was 21, I so wanted to fit in, to be liked and to be wanted. Saying no to any invitation felt like a death sentence to my social life. But the more you get comfortable saying no, the better you'll get at identifying your true priorities and forging your own pathway. The number 4 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to get roommates. Don't go solo. Don't rent an apartment on your own because you think that is what successful young professionals do. Remember the earlier point. No one cares. And when you're 21, you're free. Unless you married young, you have no family obligations. You don't have kids you have to feed. It's just you. Getting roommates will not only help you save money on your biggest expense, rent, but also help you develop your social abilities as well. The number 5 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is that when you're eating out, always go Dutch. Don't succumb to the pressure that you need to buy a meal for someone just because you're working and now making money. Everyone is broke. A 21-year-old with money to burn is a complete anomaly and most times a fantasy. Either go Dutch or better yet, eat at home with your roommates. The number 6 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to accept that you want to upgrade your car for at least 10 years. You know that same car you had in college? Expect to drive it through the rest of your 20s. In America, cars are the ultimate status symbol. It is so easy to believe that someone driving a Lamborghini or a high-end BMW is wealthy. But the truth is that any one of us with a decent credit score can walk into a dealership right now and walk out with a fancy car if we wanted to. Not only will driving your old car save another major chunk in your budget, but eliminate the expectation that you will need other nice things to go along with your nice new car. The number 7 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to accept that you will not buy a home for a while. There's the misconception that in order to acquire wealth, you need to buy a home. This comes from the general understanding that majority of millionaires own real estate. Though this is a true statement, I think we jump to conclusions too quickly. Because most millionaires own homes, we think we need to buy a home as quickly as possible in order to become a millionaire. However, this is a chicken or the egg question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The home or the wealth? According to Dr. Thomas Stanley's The Millionaire Next Door survey of actual millionaires, the truth is closer to wealth first. Most millionaires in The Millionaire Next Door built their wealth before they even considered buying a home. When you're 21 years old, you're far off from being a millionaire. So don't think about buying a house until you're well established. The number 8 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to save. And save until it hurts. When I was young, I thought counting my money and saving was really for individuals who wanted to remain poor. I couldn't get the image of cheapskates out of my mind when I heard the word save. I mean, they sure didn't look rich. And I thought it was because they didn't have money they needed to save. Oh, how foolish and naive I was. Saving is a cornerstone of wealth building. Doesn't matter how much money you make if you don't have your savings rate dialed in. So get in the habit early and save until it hurts. The number 9 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to never finance anything. Of course, in the long run, this might be impossible for many of us. However, the main lesson here is to instill a mindset that debt is dangerous. And you want to ingrain this seed early on because the world is a dangerous place. Financing is thrown around everywhere as the ideal solution for everything. Need a car? Finance it. Need education? Get a student loan. Want to start a business? Get a small business loan. And because so many people are talking about it, it's easy to believe that in order to build wealth, you need leverage. However, like a chainsaw, leverage cuts both ways. Get in the habit of avoiding financing as much as possible from early on. The number 10 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to always read the terms. Despite how much you come to believe that debt is horrible, at times it may not be possible to completely avoid them. So in order to ensure you're getting the most favorable terms, get used to reading the fine prints. Run the numbers. Understand how much interest will cost you in the long run. When you get in the habit of reading the terms and not accepting whatever the bank offers without thinking twice, you'll naturally become more careful with your decisions. The number 11 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to never take financial advice from a bank. If you don't have strong financial education, it's very easy to assume that your local bank is the ideal place to go for financial advice. I mean, who would know better what to do with your money than the one place that keeps everyone's money, right? But understand that the bank is a business like everything else. They aren't holding your money and everyone else's out of the goodness of their heart. They're constantly looking to make a profit. If you walk in there naively expecting they'll give you financial advice that is in your best interest, you're quite mistaken. The number 12 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to avoid insurance salespeople like the plague. Getting financial advice from a bank is bad. But do you know what is worse? Insurance salespeople. Most insurance salespeople get into business because they get a commission. Commission for selling financial products that are most profitable for their bottom line, but not for yours. I haven't met a single insurance salesperson who got into the business because they're motivated to help people with their finances. And they can get quite clingy and persuasive if you allow them into your life. They're masters at perfect sales pitch, and they always have a story for why their product is ideal for you at this time in life. Be very careful and avoid them like the plague. The number 13 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to be very wary of financial advisors. Now, I don't want to vilify all financial and investment advisors out there because there are decent ones out there that charge a fee-only service. However, the majority of financial advisors operate based on commission. Commission when they sell you a product like whole life insurance, or a commission on a fund they recommend. If you watch any of my other videos, you know that I greatly advocate for managing your own money. However, if you do want to engage with a financial advisor, I highly recommend seeking fee-only ones to get unbiased advice. The number 14 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to read at least one personal finance book a year. Segueing from my earlier point, I firmly believe that we can all manage our own money. However, you do want to build a base of financial knowledge before you get started. Don't blindly follow financial advice you hear on YouTube, TikTok, or social media. Even the advice from this channel. Do your own research and validate all the information out there. And the best place to build your financial knowledge are time-tested personal finance and investing books. Get in the habit of reading at least one personal finance or investing book a year. Not all of them will share the same advice. And the more you read, the better you'll get at filtering out what is relevant and what is not. If you want a good place to start, I have a link to my favorite books in the descriptions below. The number 15 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to max out your Roth IRA. When you're 21, you have a lower income. So this is the perfect time to contribute to a Roth IRA. With a Roth IRA, you pay taxes when you contribute. However, your growth and your withdrawals are completely tax-free. Later on, when you get into a higher income bracket, you'll pay a bigger tax price to get your money into a Roth IRA. However, when your salary is lower, the cost to contribute money into a Roth is much lower. So do this as early as possible before your income increases. Also, at a certain point, because your income is too high, you won't be able to contribute anymore. The number 16 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to contribute to your company's 401k, at least to the match. 401k matches are essentially free money. If you're getting a 4% match on your 401k contribution, you're essentially getting a 4% raise. Get in the habit of contributing to your 401k early on so you get used to taking home lesser pay. We humans are very adaptable beings. If our plates are bigger, we naturally eat more. And when our plates shrink, our appetite shrinks with it. In the same way, you want to get used to paying yourself first by enabling your company to redirect your money to your 401k account before you even see it. If you want to take it a step further, set up automatic escalation. This way, as your income increases, so will your contribution percentage without you needing to do anything. The number 17 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is not to get fancy with investments. When you're young, it's easy to be seduced by get-rich-quick schemes. And the fact that you're bombarded with get-rich-quick ads everywhere doesn't help. I'm sure you might have noticed several of those as you've been watching my video. Want to double your money? Buy apartment complexes. I'll show you how in my exclusive mastermind course. Want to become a millionaire in your 20s? Start your drop shipping business today. Just buy my book. But don't get swayed. If someone is trying so hard to sell you something, that should be a red flag in itself. Start out with simplest and the most boring investment of all. Mine is Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index Fund, also known as VTSAX. If you'd like to learn more, feel free to check out my video here. The number 18 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is when it comes to getting your first job out of college, get the most competitive job there is. The world is an unforgiving place. No one will give you success or wealth on a silver platter. It is something that you have to fight for. And when you're young, you have to be even more tenacious about it. Don't look for comfortable jobs when you're young. Those will come later once you can afford it. And when I'm referring to competitive jobs, I'm not just talking about a 9-to-5 corporate job, but it also means starting your own business. And starting your own venture might actually be the hardest and the most competitive job of all because of the sheer work and the pressure that comes with it. The bottom line is when you're young, be hungry. Pick the hardest path and pursue the most competitive jobs. The number 19 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to focus on skill over passion. Segueing from the earlier remark, the world is not a forgiving place. It won't matter what school you graduated from or what your college GPA was. The only thing that matters is your ability to add value. And that comes with skills. Competitive skills at your company, your boss in the market is willing to pay you for. And when you can build those skills, then you have leverage that you can use to direct your career in the direction that you want to go. This is a bit of a controversial statement, but I believe that the opportunity to pursue passion is something that needs to be earned, not given. It is really hard to pursue our passion out the gate unless we have something we can leverage. And the greatest leverage for that opportunity is a competitive skill that we bring to the market. The number 20 money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to tackle the hardest projects. How do you build skills that the market values? Take on the hardest projects. Projects that will test you and stretch you. Projects that will force you to learn new things you didn't think you were capable of. And the great thing about taking on the hardest projects is that it will act as a catalyst for the next project and the next chapter of your life. The skill that you acquire from these hard projects will give you greater confidence, and that greater confidence will enable you to take on bigger challenges in life. Just imagine a flywheel that continues to propel your career forward. The number 21 and the final money lesson I want to share with my 21-year-old self is to never get comfortable. Always explore. The 20s are all about exploration, learning new skills, meeting as many people as possible, and visiting new cities and countries. When you're young, you can't make mistakes when you have an exploration mindset. You're pushing yourself against the world to see what resonates with you and what doesn't. It is only when you allow yourself to explore can you get better at identifying what you want for the next chapter of your life, and so on. Thank you guys for watching, and in the spirit of exploration, if you'd like to learn other high-performance habits, please check out my video here. Until next time, all the best.